Listen, is pretending opening a can of worms for you in your life or in your business or in your experiences? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. What's you up to now? Day 1296 already. Documenting the journey as I transitioned originally from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. And now in 2021, as so much craziness has gone on, transitioning a little bit back and forth between the different worlds of business, the offline world and the online world. Spent over 47 years running different businesses, leading different businesses, starting and selling and disposing of different businesses, as well as over a quarter century in corporate America. And then following my divorce, decided, what do I want to do? I want to do something different. I've always been curious about the online world. Maybe this is my opportunity to pop in there and see what I can learn, see what I can do, see what I can experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then share it with people so that they can learn as well and maybe not make a bunch of the mistakes that I made along the way. Because as savvy a business person as I thought I was coming into the online world, things are different. Different things that never got to me in the offline world definitely impacted me in the online world. Things like FOMO. I never heard of FOMO, and fear of missing out, until I came in the online world. And it's just a marketing thing, just like a lot of things that are designed to get us to act now, to get us to get emotionally involved, to get us to buy, to feel like we're missing something that we absolutely positively aren't. We do the things that are right for us when they're right for us, and therefore opportunities are all around us. We're never going to miss out, so we certainly don't have to be afraid of missing out on anything. For Supersize Your Business today, our idiom was to open a can of worms. And what opening a can of worms means, it means that by finding a solution or dealing with a situation that's a huge problem, when we find that solution and implement it, it creates a whole let's say a butterfly effect. I didn't even think of that when I was talking about it, but that's a good example. A whole bunch of other problems and things that need our attention down the road. I think of things in corporate America like installing a new information system, a new computer system, a new IT system throughout a manufacturing business, for example. It doesn't just solve the computing problem in one way, it creates a whole slew of other problems and challenges down the road from installing it. Yep, we have a better computer system, but now everybody in the organization has to learn to use that new system. And so there's that training that has to be done to actually make use of the new expensive 2-year project that everybody's been implementing across different functions into each of our organizations. So it's just to remind us that sometimes the solution to one problem that we solve will actually create more problems. And if we are smart business people, smart humans, it's like, even as a parent, this applies. If we help our child with one thing, and maybe they become, say we coach them and we help them to become a super athlete in whatever area they're interested in, maybe a gymnast. They become this great gymnast. Well, now they have to spend all their time training for gymnastics so they can compete in the Olympics, and they need to find a way to deal with school and their education. So solving one problem, their dream to be a gymnastic Olympian and going to the Olympics, means that we have to find other ways to get them nutrition, educated, coaching, etc. It opens a whole lot of things that need questions and challenges, so that if we're thinking about that from our business's perspective, if we can figure out what can of worms we're opening, it is lifetime value of the customer, lifetime customers for us, because we can continue to serve the same people that we solved the initial problem for by following up and solving the problems that we actually helped to create. Now, we didn't really create the problem or situation. It was already in their life. We just came up with a solution for it. But any solution, any change has a ripple effect. So that's a fun one. And they call it different things, or they say it in different ways in different languages. And not in different languages, it's still English. They call it a dog's breakfast, supposedly in Canada, Australia, and the UK, and I've never heard a dog's breakfast called a can of worms, or meaning a difficult situation or problems, but apparently that's what it means. You know, I've heard Pandora's box. What's another one? There's a lot, you could think of them. So that was our Supersize Your Business today. Get Up and Go challenge today was about financial action. We're going through this SOAP framework this time, and we've done the story. We did a storyboarding tool for that. For O, we did a Power Vision movie. Thank you, Jim Edwards. And for A, we did something I don't have a name for. I need a name for this. It's the head, heart, intuition analysis. And I need a cool name for that, I guess. It's a decision-making tool I've used for decades, but I've just done it. I've never had a name for it. So I taught that today. It's just a little grid, and I like to put numeric values to things because it helps me to quantify and compare things that are totally different. For example, my alternatives, I'm looking to generate or create an additional $3,000 a month for something that I want to buy on an ongoing basis. And so I'm like, my challenge this month then is how do I go from, I don't want to take any existing funds, how do I get an additional $3,000 of net revenue coming in so that I can do a program I want to do? Well, what are some possible alternatives? So yesterday we used the Power Vision movie to help us to come up and visualize and brainstorm possible ways to get from where we are to where we want to be. And I did that, and I came up with alternatives, and then we look at the alternatives, and I like to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how I am thinking about them, how my heart feels about them, feelings, emotions, and then my intuition. What does my gut tell me about this particular solution? So I am going to analyze a workshop, a one-on-one coaching situation, and a consulting gig, a business consulting gig. And then I'll say, well, what does my head, my heart, and my intuition feel about that? I'll add them up and then rank them, which one's the first, second, and third. And then after I do that, I will still do another final check and say, okay, is this really what I'm going to take action on right now? Because sometimes I'll go through this whole exercise and I'll realize that something I didn't even go through my official head, heart, and intuition pops up as, this is the thing I need to do right now. And then I just do that thing right now, and then I move on to the next possible way of doing it. So, because sometimes when we're going through the process of the soap, in the background, on the subconscious level, we are already working on the best action for us to take right now, and we just don't see it until we spend a minute or two. This doesn't take but like 5 minutes max to use this model to help us make a decision. I mean, if I can explain it in less than 10 minutes, which I will admit, explaining the Get Up and Go challenge videos in less than 10 minutes, I thank goodness for my cow timer, because I can see when it's getting down. I can't really see, but I can kind of tell when it's getting toward the end, and I'm like, oh, because the spots change. I'm like, oh, I have to talk faster. So I think I talked pretty fast today, but that's okay. I just am experimenting. It's a challenge for myself this time through to do it 10 minutes or less. Next time, I may very well throw that out the window and say, no, I need to do a better job explaining each of these tools. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to hold myself to 10 minutes. I'm going to do however long it takes to clearly and concisely communicate the tool, how to use it. And I don't even know if I've gotten into what's in it for you or what's the benefit of using the tool every time. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So I want to get better and more consistent at that, which is me working on getting better at communicating. Our annual challenge today was about pretending, and I kind of went off on a little tirade, not a tirade, but a little rant about this. It says, we are what we pretend to be. Kurt Vonnegut says this, and then our challenge was what I pretended to be today. Now, can look at this just like any other thing from more than one side. And I think when I look at it from more than one side, I see how it can be taken in a way that will benefit me and help me to understand myself better and be more centered. I can say, okay, by pretending, and I don't like the fake it till you make it or pretend to be something that you're not. I believe take action toward what it is that you want to become, and before you know it, you will become that. You will become that expert whatever, expert business person, expert athlete, expert knowledgeable whatever. So it's not fake it till you make it. That feels icky to me. It's be yourself, but always be improving and continually improving and getting better. I don't fake anything. I just show up as who I am, knowing that, like every other human being, I'm really good at some things. I really suck at other things. And the things that I stink at, it doesn't really matter because they're not important to me. If they were important to me, I wouldn't stink at them because I would be improving myself in those areas. The things that I'm good at, I want to build on and improve and get better at. And that's just me being me. And so I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not. There's so much of that in the world, and not just the online world. I say the online world because it's so in your face, but really the whole world. There's most of the people on the planet are pretending to be something that they're not. And the thing is, when we're pretending to be something that we're not, even if other people don't know it, if we can fool some of the people some of the time, can't fool all the people all the time, and we can really never fool ourselves. We can pretend, but if we say we're pretending, we always know we're pretending, and it's not really us. I'd rather say, what are we becoming? I am becoming this, and then be practicing it, knowing that whenever we start something new, we're not great at it, but we're going to practice it, we're going to actually do it, take action on it, and get better at it. So then we're not pretending anymore. It's just who we are. So pay attention to that today. Pay attention to the words we use to describe what we're doing and how we're thinking and how we're feeling about ourselves. I don't want to ever be fake, and I'm sure I was when I was, growing up in corporate America. I wasn't fake. I was always me, but I was only a little sliver of me. This is the professional corporate version of me. And that's only, 10% of who I really am as a human being. I guess that's one of the things I love about the online world is you can actually show up and just be yourself. Now, are some people going to hate on you and hate that? Oh my gosh, I've got some of the funniest hate mail on the planet. And if you're old enough that you're past the point of comparing yourself to others, that just doesn't bother you anymore. It's just, it's like in one ear, out the other. It's like, it doesn't even get in my ears anymore. It just, a lot of times if I notice the tone of it's hatey, I don't even read it. And I definitely am not going to respond to it. I think you go through a stage where you want to respond to some of your hate mail and your hate notes and your hate tweets and your hate comments and your hate messages, but at some point you realize that it's not about you at all. Anybody that sends something like that is telling you exactly who they are. They're not telling you who you are. So if somebody says, you look like the Wicked Witch of the West, I just say thank you, and I'm like, okie dokie, right? Because you wonder what they think about themselves. Because the only time people criticize you is when they're not doing something themselves or when they're really criticizing themselves. All right, so that's it. We've got the Get Up and Go Challenge, day 17 today. We've got, we'll do the Financial P tomorrow, and we'll have a tool for that, and then we'll share that tool. And then we will move into 4 days of SOAP framework on relationships, because health, wealth, and relationships, finances, physical well-being, which can include more than just your physical health, but we do physical because we're going to talk about mental, emotional, spiritual, contribution, communication, and confidence. And we're going to run through the SOAP framework one at a time through all the S, the O, the A, the P. Now, if those don't challenge me in the 10-minute block, I don't know what's going to. And I'll have to think about, am I really going to be committed to the 10 minutes during those 7 days or 6 days? Because I think they're so important that we really get a clear understanding of the S, the O, the A, the P, and how we can work it into each of those different areas and aspects of our life, so that when we get it and we practice it, it gets installed in our subconscious, it really is as automatic as breathing to deal with changes and challenges and things that come our way. All right. Any questions? Hit me up in the comments below, or just direct message me. If you're on Facebook, I turn direct messaging on this particular message. You can actually direct message me. Don't do that very often, but I did on this. Also, note, this segment, this video where I journal and document what I'm doing, is going to move from the Be Me to Thrive page to the Thrive Challenge page permanently. I found I've been doing it for over a week now. It's easy. It's the same as all the other things I do. It just keeps things simple and flowing. I like to do and make my life as well as your life easier and simpler and more flowing. So I will change the header on this page and take care of that, and then figure out. I use this page for other challenges, but maybe I'll just have to think of something different. But for right now, that's where my documenting my journey and my online journal will be going for now. That's it. Have an absolutely amazing day. If you have an idea for what to call the decision-making tool about head, heart, and intuition, let me know, because I don't know, I haven't thought of a name yet. HHI, HHG. I wish there was an H, a U, and a G. Then it could be called the HUG decision-making process. I'd like that. All right, I digress. Have an amazing day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.